Okay, so let's dive right into this really beautiful story. It's taken from a mother's diary all about her daughter's very first week of kindergarten. And trust me, it's a journey of tears, laughter, and just incredible growth. The whole story kicks off with this feeling that is so relatable for any parent. It's that moment where you're trying to reassure your kid, saying, it's going to be great, but deep down, you're really just trying to convince yourself. All right, so let's get into it. This huge adventure started with, well, a total roller coaster of emotions for both of them. And these first couple of days, they were a serious test of courage, for sure. So this timeline really maps out the whole emotional arc, doesn't it? You've got this deceptively easy start, then a huge challenge, and then this totally unexpected breakthrough. It's just a great reminder that progress is never, ever a straight line. So that first drop-off, it almost felt too easy. The daughter was just so mesmerized by all the new toys that her mom kind of slipped away. And she felt this weird mix of relief, but also a little guilt, almost like she'd pulled a fast one.
But yeah, that calm didn't last very long. At 11 a.m., like clockwork, that call came from the teacher. The reality of the whole situation was finally sinking in for her little one.
And when her mom got there, she saw that her daughter was the only one who was upset. And we're not talking about a few tears here. It was a full-on scream. That feeling of being left alone just hit her with full force. So then day 2 was even tougher. The newness had worn off, and now she knew what was coming. It was one of those just heart-wrenching goodbyes where she's clinging on for dear life, and her mom had to make that hard choice to just be firm and walk away while she was still crying.
Later, back at home, there was this little moment of humor that just cut right through all that tension. The daughter pulled every single straw out of a drawer and just threw them everywhere. And her dad just joked, that's her revenge. It's just a perfect example of how families find a little bit of light in those really stressful moments.
Okay, now we're at day 3, and this is the turning point. Because, sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come from the absolute smallest promises. Just something that a little kid can hold on to.
So, facing another tearful morning with her daughter just clinging to her, the mom made a really simple promise. Hey, after school, we'll go buy some berries. It wasn't anything huge, just a small, solid plan for later.
And would you believe it? That was all it took. That one tiny plan for the future gave her all the courage she needed. She let go of her mom's hand, went and sat on the sofa, and just watched her leave without any fuss at all. Absolutely amazing. So when her mom came back for pickup, she was totally bracing for the worst, right? Just getting ready for more tears. But instead, the teacher came over with a message that pretty much changed everything. She hadn't cried, not at all. Instead of joining in with the other kids, she had just spent her time quietly watching everything and everyone from the safety of the sofa. She was just processing her new world, but on her own terms.
And this was a massive leap. It shows she wasn't just, surviving the day. She was actively understanding what was going on around her. She understood a question in a different language and made her own choice. It's like a whole new person was starting to emerge.
Of course, growing up isn't just about getting through the big, scary challenges. The diary also captured these other wonderful little moments at home that really show a personality just starting to bloom. So get this. In this really touching moment, the daughter sees her mom's water bottle, and she decides she's going to help. She gets a chair, drags it over to the counter, and tries to fill it up. And her mom notes that this was the very first time she'd ever tried to do something for her. Just a beautiful little sign of empathy sprouting.
Then, during bath time, her mom just asked this simple, casual question, not really expecting much. But it ended up leading to this really surprising little window into her daughter's inner world.
And her answer was so confident, so clear. No hesitation at all. White. And it was the first time her parents had ever actually heard her express a preference like that.
And when her parents acted all surprised, her response was just so mature and cool about it. Almost like a tiny little adult saying, "What's the big deal?" It was such a clear sign of her own little personality and her growing sense of self.
Oh, and this next moment is just a perfect snapshot of being a toddler. In this completely adorable attempt to act all grown up, she tried to imitate her parents by crossing her legs, but her own little legs were just too short to pull it off. It's just the perfect image of a kid trying to figure out this big, weird world.
So when we step back and look at this entire whirlwind of a week, what's the big takeaway from this little girl's journey into a brand new world?
Well, by the end of the week, she was completely and utterly exhausted. But that exhaustion,
It wasn't a bad sign. It wasn't a sign of failure. It was actually a sign of incredible success. And that's because all that tiredness was just proof of how hard her little mind was working. I mean, think about it. She was taking in new faces, new rules, a new language, a whole new routine. All that exhaustion just meant she was growing. You know, her journey through just this 1 week is such a powerful reminder that these moments, they just pass in the blink of an eye. The struggles feel so huge when you're in them, but the growth that comes out of it is even bigger. And it really leaves you wondering, how many of these incredible, fleeting milestones do we actually manage to hold on to?